Today, Carol Middleton would be celebrating her birthday. This remarkable woman has dedicated everything to her family and has been a pillar of support for Kate during her recovery from cancer. On this special day, she is at the center of attention, receiving a spectacular gift from Prince William, a gesture that showcases his commitment and the unbreakable bond that ties them together. In gratitude for all the support Mrs. Carol has provided to Prince William and her children during this challenging and complex year due to Kate's illness, the prince has touched Kate's mother's heart in a truly moving way. Up next, we reveal the $1 million gift that has captured the spotlight. Get ready for a video that celebrates love, unity, joy, and happiness. Now, we connect with our press room for more details about the birthday of the mother of the future Queen of England and the mother-in-law of the future King Carol Middleton, a woman of great significance. At 70 years old, she remains an enigmatic figure in British public life. To some, she is the mother of the future Queen Consort, a woman who skillfully navigated the circles of power. To others, she is an opportunist who strategically worked her way into royalty. Yet, beyond opinions, one undeniable truth remains: she has built her own legacy with vision and unbreakable determination. Since her daughter, the Princess of Wales, joined the British royal family, Carol has been under constant scrutiny, often cited as the mastermind behind her family's rise. Behind Kate and William's connection stands a mother who meticulously shaped her daughter's destiny. Although rumors ebb and flow, she remains steadfast, carrying herself with grace and composure. Carol's life did not begin in a privileged environment. She grew up in southwest London in a working-class home, the daughter of a hardworking mother and a truck-driving father. Her mother, nicknamed the Duchess for her elegance, instilled in her a vital lesson: image matters, but what you do with your life is what truly counts. At 16, Carol left school and worked various jobs before joining British Airways, where she became a flight attendant. There she met Michael Middleton, a flight dispatcher with aristocratic lineage but no noble title. This was the beginning of both a love story and an alliance that would shape her destiny. As a mother of three with a sharp business instinct, Carol identified a market opportunity and seized it. From her home kitchen, she founded Party Pieces, a company specializing in children's party decorations. With hard work and vision, it grew into a multi-million-pound enterprise. Thanks to this success, the Middletons attained a standard of living once unimaginable, affording their children the best education, settling in Bucklebury, and learning to navigate Britain's elite circles. Yet, despite their status change, Carol never lost her hardworking mindset. She was a woman who made lists, planned every detail, and taught her children to persevere. On April 29, 2011, when Kate Middleton walked down the aisle at Westminster Abbey, Carol Middleton became a central figure in the royal scene. Dressed in an elegant blue Catherine Walker suit, she carried herself with confidence, proving she did not need a title to stand out. However, with notoriety came speculation: was she the one who influenced Kate's decision to attend St. Andrews, where Prince William happened to be enrolled? Carol's influence on her daughter's life is undeniable. She has been a fundamental pillar in times of crisis. When Kate announced her cancer treatment, the rumors surrounding the Middletons faded into the background. During the storm, Carol remained the anchor of the family. Carol's journey has not been without hardships. In 2023, Party Pieces went bankrupt, a casualty of the pandemic and Brexit. To some, this marked the downfall of a woman who had defied social class boundaries. To others, it was proof that even the strongest stumble. Yet, if Carol Middleton has demonstrated anything, it is that setbacks do not define her. Party Pieces was merely a stepping stone, not her final destination. Her greatest achievement is not her business, but the family she has built. Unlike her lavish 60th birthday celebration on a private island, her 70th might be more discreet. Perhaps she will opt for a quiet dinner, surrounded by her children and grandchildren. In a world where women are often confined to predefined roles, Carol Middleton has proven that one can write their own story without asking for permission or seeking approval. After all, does it matter what others say when you have achieved exactly what you set out to do? This brings us to a truly special moment: the emotional gift from Prince William to his mother-in-law. A tribute to her unwavering love for her grandchildren, this gesture, filled with symbolism and gratitude, is believed to be an emotional portrait of her grandchildren Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. This gift not only reflects the deep bond between Carol and the little ones, but also highlights her role as a stabilizing force during challenging times. In times of crisis, family becomes a refuge. Carol Middleton has been an essential pillar, not just for Kate, but also for her grandchildren, offering them the warmth and stability they need. The portrait symbolizes her silent yet decisive role within the royal family. In a world where royalty lives under constant scrutiny, Prince William's gesture is more than a tribute, it is an expression of gratitude for Carol's dedication during one of the family's most difficult chapters. As the world focuses on Kate's recovery, this detail underscores the importance of family ties within the British monarchy. William's gift to Carol Middleton is much more than just a portrait. It is a testament to love, gratitude, and recognition. This meaningful gesture reinforces the idea that, at the end of the day, what truly matters is not protocol but the love that unites a family. Meanwhile, the United Kingdom is buzzing with speculation over what Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis allegedly revealed about Queen Camilla at a recent royal event. Whispers of tension within the family left spectators astonished. Could this be the moment that shatters the royal image forever? Stay tuned for more impactful details. The recent Christmas event at Westminster Abbey was nothing short of magical. The abbey glowed with festive lights, and the atmosphere was filled with warmth and joy. Princess Kate's Tree of Kindness initiative took center stage, inviting guests to share heartfelt messages of gratitude and hope. It was a beautiful moment, highlighting unity and family connections. As the Wales children joined the festivities, young Prince Louis enthusiastically presented his card. His message was simple yet touching, thanked his grandparents for always making time to play with them. The crowd smiled at his innocence and charm. However, the joyful scene took an unexpected turn when a curious guest asked why Queen Camilla was not mentioned. Louis' response left everyone stunned. He revealed that she had once promised to play with him but instead called him annoying and asked him to leave. The candid remark sent shockwaves through the event, leaving attendees whispering in disbelief. This unexpected honesty from Louis set the stage for a deeper conversation about the royal family's internal dynamics. His innocent comment hinted at a certain distance between him and his step-grandmother, fueling long-standing speculation about their relationship. Could this be a sign of deeper tensions within the family or merely a child's unfiltered honesty? Either way, this moment has sparked widespread curiosity about what really happens behind palace walls. Princess Charlotte, known for her protective nature, has always looked out for her younger brother. Whether holding his hand in public or guiding him through formal events, she ensures he feels supported. A memorable moment occurred at a recent garden party, where an overwhelmed Louis hesitated in front of the crowd. Without hesitation, Charlotte took his hand, encouraging him to greet people with confidence. The sun blazed high above the royal grounds, casting long shadows over the perfectly manicured lawns and historic architecture. It was one of those grand events for which the British royal family is renowned, steeped in tradition, filled with pomp, and executed with precision. The rhythmic clatter of horse hoofs echoed through the procession as it moved toward the royal platform. Thousands of spectators had gathered, waving flags and craning their necks for a glimpse of the royal figure. Among them stood the 6-year-old Prince Louis, the youngest and often the most mischievous member of the royal family. Louis stood alongside his family, his curious eyes darting from one spectacle to another. In his small hands, he clutched a tiny bottle of water, seemingly more intrigued by its cap than by the grand ceremony unfolding before him. For a fleeting moment, he appeared to be just another child, impatient and oblivious to the weight of the occasion. But the ceremony was far from frivolous. Nearby, the royal guards stood clad in their iconic red uniforms and towering bearskin hats. Their faces were stern, their movements disciplined, despite the relentless morning heat which made their ceremonial attire appear unbearably heavy even to onlookers. From the crowd, murmurs of concern could be heard. "It's too hot for them," someone muttered. Yet for Louis, the solemnity of the moment remained a mystery. To him, the guards were living statues, silent, motionless, and almost otherworldly. He tugged at his mother's hand and whispered a question, bringing a faint smile to the Princess of Wales. Then, as if on cue, something began to change. One of the guards, positioned directly in the line of sight, started to sway. At first, the movement was so subtle that most people did not notice. But not Louis. His small brows furrowed, and he tilted his head, watching intently as the guard staggered once more, thighs time more noticeably. Time seemed to stretch endlessly in that instant. Then, the guard collapsed. A wave of gasps rippled through the assembled crowd. All eyes turned toward the fallen figure, and for a brief moment, even the royal family stood frozen. But not Louis. The young prince tightened his grip on his water bottle and took a small yet decisive step forward. Something inside him told him this was not a game. Prince Louis had realized that the royal guard had lost consciousness. and what he did next would send shivers down the spines of those watching. The sudden fall disrupted the carefully maintained rhythm of the event. A collective hush settled over the gathering, followed by murmurs of confusion and concern. For a moment, time itself seemed to pause. The tall, stoic figure of the guard now lay motionless on the ground, finally overcome by the sweltering heat. Eyes darted toward the royal family, awaiting a response. But no one could have predicted who would act first. Among the sea of distinguished figures, it was Prince Louis at just 6 years old who moved. He was supposed to be playful, a mischievous child known for drawing attention with his cheeky antics. But this was no laughing matter. His sharp gaze remained fixed, his fingers tightening around the water bottle in his hand. Without hesitation, he stepped closer to the edge of the platform. His face displayed concern and determination. The crowd watched in stunned silence, sensing what was about to happen. Even the royal aides appeared momentarily unsure should they intervene or allow the young prince to proceed. The royal guards, symbols of unwavering discipline, were expected to endure all conditions without faltering. But now, one of them lay helpless before the public eye. Louis did not wait for instructions. His small legs carried him down the steps with a confidence far beyond his years. The sun gleamed off his polished shoes as he approached the fallen guard, clutching the water bottle tightly. The murmurs in the crowd grew louder. "Is he really going over there?" someone whispered. The royal family, still standing on the platform, exchanged glances. The Princess of Wales appeared ready to step in, but Prince William gently took her hand. His expression was unreadable, too, wanted to see what Louis would do. Reaching the guard, Louis knelt beside him. His miniature figure was dwarfed by the lifeless form of the soldier. He hesitated only for a moment before extending the water bottle, a simple yet profound gesture. It was an instinctive act of kindness from a child in the face of distress. The crowd erupted into applause. The admiration in their voices was unmistakable. Louis had not sought attention. He had simply wanted to help someone in need. And in that moment, he taught everyone present a lesson they would never forget. As the applause softened, Prince Louis remained beside the fallen guard, still clutching his water bottle. His tiny hands twisted the cap, his resolve evident despite his young age. The towering figure of the soldier lay still under the scorching sun. His voice was barely audible to those watching. "Here," Louis whispered, nudging the bottle toward him. The guard stirred slightly. His eyes fluttered open, meeting the gaze of the young prince. The sight was almost surreal, a small child kneeling before a soldier, defying centuries of formality with a simple act of kindness. Royal aides hurried forward, their polished shoes clicking against the stone path. Medical personnel followed closely behind, quickly assessing the guard's condition. But even as professionals took control of the situation, Louis did not immediately step away. "Step aside, Your Highness," one of the medics gently requested. But Louis hesitated, his wide eyes fixed on the guard, silently asking if he was okay. On the platform, the royal family watched closely. The Princess of Wales exchanged a look of pride and concern with Prince William. Even King Charles, usually composed, could not suppress a faint smile tugging at the corners of his lips. It was a rare, unguarded moment, completely unscripted and profoundly human. As the guard was helped into a seated position, he managed a weak smile. "Thank you," he murmured, his voice slightly stronger now. The crowd stirred again. Admiration rippled through the royal grounds. Louis seemed unbothered by the attention, stepping back and looking toward his mother, who opened her arms to him. He rushed into her embrace, his serious expression melting into the playful grin everyone knew so well. For those watching, this was more than just a sweet moment, it was a glimpse into the kind of person Louis might one day become. Thoughtful, brave, and unafraid to act when it truly mattered. As the royal guards and medics attended to the fallen soldier, the early shock among the spectators gradually faded. The guard, though visibly shaken, was conscious. He sipped from the bottle of water Louis had given him, the weight of the ceremonial uniform, and the heat having clearly taken their toll. But now, surrounded by care, he was beginning to recover. The royal family remained on the platform, their gazes still fixed on him. Meanwhile, Kate leaned down and whispered something in Louis's ear, perhaps words of praise. Though he occasionally glanced back at the guard to ensure he was all right, his attention soon shifted elsewhere. Medics gently lifted the soldier to his feet. Though his stance was unsteady, the water had provided relief. "Dehydration," one of the medics quietly confirmed to a royal aide, who nodded in understanding. A stretcher had been brought, but the guard, embodying the resilience of his duty, politely declined. Instead, he chose to sit on a nearby bench, gradually regaining his composure. As he sat, his gaze drifted back to the platform. Though silent, his expression conveyed immense gratitude, and the young prince responded with a small, shy wave. It was a quiet exchange that spoke volumes without words. The crowd, once breathless, now broke into thunderous applause. But this time, the applause was not just for the recovering guard. It was for Louis. The world had just witnessed a simple yet powerful act of kindness that transcended tradition and formality. Cameras captured the moment, and soon, images of the young prince offering water to the soldier spread across social media. "Did you see what he just did?" someone exclaimed in awe. "That boy didn't even hesitate." Though Louis was unaware of the profound impression he had left, those who had seen it would not forget. And in the midst of grand tradition, it was a child's small act of kindness that stood apart, etched into memory, whispered about in admiration, and preserved as a story of simple, human compassion. King Charles, a monarch long devoted to upholding royal traditions and order, made a decision that left his wife, Queen Consort Camilla, utterly speechless. In a turn of events that no one could have anticipated, Camilla was completely excluded from the king's will, setting off a chain reaction of consequences that were impossible to predict. For Camilla, this was not just a legal issue. It was deeply personal. She was shaken not only by her exclusion from the will but also by the profound rift this decision would cause within the family. For years, Camilla had stood by Charles, enduring his triumphs and hardships, yet now she found herself left out of his final wishes. What could have led to such a shocking decision? What family dynamics were at play, and how did they influence the relationship between Charles and Camilla? Stay tuned for more details on the royal controversy that left Camilla speechless. The royal estate, with its rich history, is more than just a property. It is a symbol of the monarchy's heritage. Camilla's alleged actions, which reportedly strayed from established protocols, were perceived as a direct challenge to the values of the institution. For King Charles, this incident served as a warning sign. As the leader of the monarchy, he was faced with the challenge of reaffirming his commitment to fairness and integrity. Camilla's exclusion from the will did not happen overnight. Tensions had been building behind the scenes for quite some time, and they all seemed to converge on a contentious incident that shook the royal family months earlier. The royal estate, passed down through generations, had been under Camilla's management along with other royal properties. However, she allegedly took matters into her own hands regarding this particular estate. Despite King Charles's directive that it remain jointly owned by the royal family, Camilla moved forward with claiming it for her personal use, effectively removing it from the monarchy's holdings. Her reasoning was straightforward. She believed she had the right to enjoy the property without external interference. However, her actions were deemed not only unauthorized but also unlawful, as the estate was intended for royal gatherings and family events. Camilla's decision to seize the property and turn it into her private retreat, without consulting Charles or other family members, was viewed as a breach of royal protocol. The incident became a major point of contention within the royal family, with many seeing it as a direct challenge to the institution and its long-standing rules. As a monarch, Charles could not overlook such a violation of trust. The decision weighed heavily on his mind and ultimately influenced his choice when drafting his will. This bold move displeased many family members, but no one felt the impact more than Princess Anne, who had been closely involved in managing royal estates and expected to be consulted on important property matters. Anne had been closely observing the growing tension within the family, particularly between Camilla and the other royals. She had witnessed firsthand how Camilla's actions, especially the controversial move regarding the royal estate, had eroded trust within the family. Anne was not one to let personal emotions cloud her judgment, but she firmly believed that Charles needed to reconsider his will for the sake of the monarchy. Her intervention came at a critical time. Sources suggest that Anne framed her arguments not as personal attacks on Camilla but as necessary steps to protect the institution. She emphasized the importance of preserving the monarchy's legacy and ensuring that its assets were distributed in a way that reflected the values of the crown. As tensions between Camilla and the royal family escalated, Anna, Charles's sister, took on a more active role in advising her brother on matters of royal governance. Known for her serious approach to royal duties, Anne was increasingly concerned about family stability and the monarchy's future. Reports indicate that as King Charles's health became a growing concern, Anne took the bold step of suggesting a revision to his will not just as a routine update, but as a strategic move to secure the monarchy's long-term stability. As reported, following the estate incident, Anne proposed that Charles reconsider his will to ensure that royal assets remained under the family's direct control. In a recent interview, she stated, "Sometimes doing what is right means making difficult decisions, even if it upsets people. The monarchy must come first, and that is something we cannot ignore." Anne's growing apprehension about Camilla's actions did not end with the estate. As senior members of the royal family aged, Anne began to seriously consider the future of the monarchy and, more importantly, how Camilla's influence might affect it. In Anne's view, any decisions concerning the monarchy's inheritance and properties had to be structured in a way that would prevent future disputes, especially in light of the concerns surrounding Camilla's choices. As Anne put it, "We need a will that serves the monarchy, not an individual. The future of the crown must come first." She believed that such measures would prevent any future complications, particularly regarding royal estates and assets, which were becoming increasingly contentious. Anne's advice was direct, but it carried weight. She once again reiterated that the monarchy could not be divided due to personal interests. Clarity was needed on who owned what, and no individual should be placed above the institution. Camilla, despite being a trusted spouse, had overstepped the boundaries of royal traditions. Her actions, combined with rising concerns over her influence on royal properties, put Anne on high alert. The tension between Anne and Camilla had long been noted in royal circles, with rumors suggesting that Anne viewed Camilla as opportunistic. This history, coupled with Camilla's controversial decisions, may have influenced Anne's push for changes in Charles's will. In fact, Anne had openly expressed her discontent with her brother's vision of a streamlined monarchy, hinting that she may have advocated for these changes in line with her values of stability and responsibility. It is evident that Anne was unlikely to waver in her stance, as she had historically remained firm in her beliefs about maintaining royal traditions. Anne's position also highlighted the contrast in how she and Camilla approached their roles. While Anne dedicated her life to royal service with an unwavering work ethic, Camilla's more relaxed approach had often drawn criticism. This ideological clash underscored broader family tensions, making Anne's intervention a pivotal moment in Charles's decision-making process. It was not an easy decision for King Charles to exclude Camilla. He had spent decades with her, both privately and in the public eye. At that moment, he had to choose between personal loyalty and the well-being of the monarchy. However, the estate incident appeared to force him to reassess his relationship with Camilla, at least in terms of her role in the royal family's legacy. Charles, who had always valued tradition, felt deeply affected by the situation. He began to see the future of the monarchy as something that needed protection not only from external threats but also from internal conflicts. His decision, as painful as it was, seemed to reflect a shift in priorities. His focus was now not only on personal relationships, but also on ensuring the stability of the crown for future generations. When Charles sat down with Camilla to discuss his will, she had no idea what was coming. According to sources close to the royal family, Camilla was stunned when Charles informed her that she was being completely excluded from his inheritance. Her reaction? She was speechless. "I never thought he would do this," Camilla reportedly said, struggling to process the news. For King Charles, the decision was not an easy one. He had always fiercely defended Camilla, especially after all they had been through together. However, the pressure from within the family, particularly from Anne, became impossible to ignore. Charles faced a choice. Would he let his attachment to Camilla outweigh the stability of the monarchy? This decision also reflects a broader shift in Charles's reign. The world watches as the royal palace buzzes with controversy, and Camilla, insecure in her position, now faces an uncertain future. Tears are being shed across the nation. Just when it seemed that Princess Catherine was on the road to recovery following her glowing return in January, Kensington Palace has revealed devastating news that no one anticipated. The announcement has rippled through royal circles and beyond, leaving many in shock. What has happened, and what does this mean for Catherine's future? The reality is more heartbreaking than anyone could have imagined. After months of hope and cautious optimism following Princess Catherine's triumphant re-emergence in public life, the palace has released a solemn statement that has left royal watchers and admirers stunned. In January, Catherine appeared radiant, seemingly defying the struggles of her health battle, offering a glimpse of her enduring resilience. Yet beneath that composed appearance, a more difficult reality was unfolding, on that the palace could no longer keep concealed. The official statement confirms that Catherine's health has taken an unforeseen downturn. Although she initially responded well to treatment, unexpected complications have arisen. While the palace remains discreet about the medical details, it is clear that this is a serious setback. Insiders report that Catherine has been experiencing heightened fatigue, severe bouts of illness, and increasing difficulty in sustaining her energy levels. Her medical team has strongly advised her to step away from all public duties to prioritize her recovery completely. This sudden shift has come as a shock, especially after the public saw her lively presence during January's events. Her smiles, grace, and poised demeanor concealed the silent battle she continued to endure behind palace walls. Now, it is evident that her return to the spotlight, though inspiring, may have placed an additional strain on her delicate health. Some royal insiders speculate that the demanding nature of public duties, combined with her unwavering sense of responsibility, may have played a role in her current health struggles. Those close to the royal family reveal that the decision for Catherine to step back was not made lightly. Known for her steadfast dedication, stepping away is not in her character at this time. The choice was unavoidable. The palace emphasized that Catherine's priority must be her health and well-being, a sentiment echoed by Prince William and other senior royals. Though it is heartbreaking, her family recognizes the necessity of giving her the space and time required for healing. Behind closed doors, the atmosphere is somber. Prince William has reportedly cleared his schedule to be by his wife's side, focusing on supporting her and their 3 children during this critical period. Their bond, often described as unshakable, is being tested in ways few could have imagined. Yet their resilience continues to inspire. Family members, including King Charles and Queen Camilla, have stepped in to provide emotional support and assist in handling royal responsibilities. Catherine's health crisis is having far-reaching effects beyond her immediate family. The royal household is making significant adjustments to accommodate her absence. Staff members who once managed her busy schedule are now concentrating on communications and ensuring her privacy. Public appearances have been cancelled, and several major events will proceed without her, a stark reminder of the seriousness of her situation. Meanwhile, the charitable initiatives and causes she championed are being supported by other members of the royal family, ensuring that her work continues despite her absence. The public response has been immediate and deeply emotional. Across social media, an outpouring of support and sorrow is evident. Candlelight vigils, heartfelt tributes, and messages of solidarity are flooding in from all corners of the globe. Catherine has touched millions not just as a royal figure, but as a symbol of grace under pressure. Public squares, landmarks, and even private homes have been transformed into places of tribute, reflecting the deep connection people feel toward her. Yet amid the sorrow, questions arise. What led to this sudden decline? Was her return to public life premature? Some medical experts suggest that the stress of royal obligations may have contributed to this setback, while others argue that her dedication to service, even while unwell, speaks to her strength and character. Regardless, this situation highlights the immense pressures faced by the royal family, pressures that often remain hidden from the public eye. Adding to the complexity of the situation are the emotional challenges faced by her children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. They are navigating the delicate reality of their mother's illness with the support of family and trusted caregivers. The royal family has made every effort to shield them from media scrutiny, yet the impact on their young lives is undeniable. Efforts are being made to maintain a sense of normalcy, with close family members offering comfort and reassurance during this difficult time. For Prince William, the weight of being both a supportive husband and a public figure is immense. Balancing royal duties while being present for Catherine and their children is a challenge he faces with quiet strength. His recent appearances have shown a man deeply affected, yet determined to fulfill his responsibilities. The emotional toll is evident, but so is his resolve. He has reportedly been leaning on close friends and family for support, finding solace in private moments away from the public eye. Kensington Palace has urged the public and media to respect the family's privacy during this time. However, the demand for updates remains high, with people around the world eager for any signs of improvement. The palace's carefully worded statements reflect the delicate balance between transparency and safeguarding Catherine's dignity. They have committed to providing updates while ensuring the family's need for discretion is respected. This development also raises broader questions about the future of the monarchy. Catherine has been a cornerstone of the royal family's modern image, a figure of intelligence, elegance, and compassion. Her absence creates a noticeable void. While other royals will step in to carry out duties, Catherine's unique presence is irreplaceable. Discussions are reportedly underway within the palace to redistribute responsibilities in a way that ensures continuity while honoring Catherine's contributions. In the wake of this heartbreaking news, reflections on Catherine's impact are everywhere. From her pioneering work in early childhood development to her advocacy for mental health awareness, she has left a lasting legacy. Her ability to connect with people, to make them feel seen and heard, is a rare gift. It is not just what she does but how she does it with warmth and authenticity. Tributes from organizations she has supported are pouring in, celebrating her dedication and the influence she has had. Despite the sadness, there remains a thread of hope. Catherine's medical team is committed to exploring every available option for her recovery. Advances in treatment offer possibilities that were unimaginable just a decade ago. And if there is one thing we know about Catherine, it is her incredible resilience. She has faced adversity before, and while this battle may be her most difficult yet, her spirit remains unbroken. Her determination to fight, coupled with the unwavering support of her family and the public, fuels a sense of cautious optimism. The public's unwavering support continues to be a source of strength for the royal family. Messages, prayers, and gestures of kindness remind them that they are not alone. This collective outpouring of love is a testament to Catherine's profound impact not just as a princess, but as a person. Community gatherings, charity events in her honor, and countless heartfelt gestures serve as symbols of solidarity, reflecting the deep admiration and affection people hold for her. Yet, as the world awaits the next update, one lingering question remains. What lies ahead for Princess Catherine? Will she find the strength to overcome this latest challenge? And how will the royal family navigate the uncertain path before them? The answers are unfolding, even now, behind palace walls. Stay tuned, because Catherine's story is far from over, and its next chapter may be the most defining one yet. At one moment, causing loud laughter among the onlookers, Princess Charlotte, the young royal with a sharp mind and quick wit, performed a bold act that left Queen Camilla's daughter speechless. It was a scene that could only unfold within the royal family, where an ordinary doorway became the stage for one of the most unexpected royal showdowns. But what exactly happened? Why did Princess Charlotte block her stepsister at the door? It all began during a family gathering at the palace. Queen Camilla's daughter, always eager to assert her importance, attempted to make a dramatic entrance that would highlight her new place in the royal family. However, Princess Charlotte had other plans. In a humorous twist, Charlotte, known for her playful nature, assessed the situation and decided to turn everything upside down. With confidence, the young princess stood in the doorway, blocking the passage. The reaction was bold yet amusing, stealing the spotlight. As Queen Camilla's daughter tried to enter, Charlotte held her ground, unwilling to let anyone pass without a bit of fun. Best of all, the entire royal court burst into laughter as Charlotte's witty remarks made the moment even more entertaining. No one expected the youngest royal to steal the attention in such a memorable way. So what happened next? How did Queen Camilla's daughter react to this playful blockade? You're about to find out. This royal moment would be talked about for years to come. The guardian of the palace, Princess Charlotte, had always been known for her sharp mind and confidence. But this time she took everything to a whole new level. As Queen Camilla's daughter approached the palace doors with her usual air of importance, Charlotte proved that despite her small stature, she was a force to be reckoned with. With quick reflexes, Charlotte halted her entry. With a mischievous smile, she held her position and refused to let anyone pass, especially her stepsister. The moment Charlotte decided to block the door was not just playful mischief, it was a royal statement that clearly conveyed her personality and place in the family. Charlotte, known for her sharp intellect and fearless behavior, made sure this unexpected move would not be an exception. She wasn't going to let anyone push her around, not even a member of the royal family. She wanted to assert herself, and she did so in the most charming and amusing way. What made the situation even funner was the reaction of Queen Camilla's daughter. Known for her serious and ambitious nature, she was utterly stunned by Charlotte's improvised barricade. The scene shifted from tense to hilarious as Camilla's daughter struggled but failed to get past the door. Meanwhile, Princess Charlotte stood firm, making jokes and witty comments that had the entire palace laughing. This moment became a turning point for Charlotte. She was no longer just a little princess following rules. She was making her own mark while having fun. Her playful spirit is part of what makes her such a beloved figure in the royal family, and this amusing incident only added to her growing charm. However, the real question remains, how did the rest of the royal family react, and what happened when Queen Camilla found out about Charlotte's antics? The resolution of this royal standoff was just as intriguing as the event itself. It was an unprecedented showdown, Princess Charlotte versus Queen Camilla's daughter. This time, there were no royal protocols. Charlotte, with her signature charm and ingenuity, put her stepsister in her place in the most unexpected way. After all, Camilla's daughter had grown up with all the privileges of the royal family and expected to be the center of attention. But Princess Charlotte had no intention of letting her stepsister enter without a little fun. With a sly grin, Charlotte blocked the door with a confidence that surprised everyone in the palace. This clash wasn't just about the doorway, it was a battle of personalities. On one side was Queen Camilla's daughter, who had spent years fighting for her position in the royal family. On the other side was Charlotte, who always knew how to make people laugh while standing her ground. The two princesses couldn't have been more different, and their confrontation was absolutely hilarious. The funniest part of this royal incident wasn't just Charlotte's playful blockade, but also Queen Camilla's daughter's reaction. Completely caught off guard, she was left stammering while Charlotte turned the entire situation into pure comedy. This royal conflict didn't end with Charlotte backing down. Instead, it concluded with an explosion of laughter from the entire royal family. How did Queen Camilla handle the situation, and what did Charlotte say next that made everyone laugh even harder? The resolution of this humorous royal moment was just as scandalous. After Princess Charlotte amusingly blocked the royal door, the palace descended into chaos, but in the best way possible. From servants to family members, no one could contain their laughter at the young princess's clever stunt. Queen Camilla's daughter, initially bewildered by Charlotte's antics, soon realized she had been outwitted by the youngest member of the family. However, the resolution of this royal moment wasn't about anger or punishment, it was about joy and laughter. When Camilla found out about Charlotte's prank, she took her role as palace guardian seriously, insisting on royal clearance for every visitor before allowing them to enter, leaving the royal family and staff speechless. The reactions from the palace staff were priceless as they tried to play along with Charlotte. This moment placed the young princess in an unexpected new role within the royal family. Her confidence and sharp wit had earned her a place in the spotlight, and she wasn't about to let it go. Princess Charlotte proved she could hold her own against the most seasoned members of the royal family, and now she was making the most of her newfound role. After all, Charlotte's boldness was yet another reminder of her natural charisma. Instead of scolding her, Queen Camilla decided to join in the laughter, sharing the joy of the moment with the rest of the family. But the funniest reaction of all came from Charlotte herself. Instead of boasting about her clever move, she simply shrugged and said, "Well, someone had to teach her a lesson." Her confidence and wit made the situation even funnier, as the family couldn't stop admiring how the young princess handled everything. The rest of the day was filled with laughter, as this became the main topic of conversation in the palace. Even Prince William and Kate Middleton admitted that their daughter's playful spirit was a much-needed break from the usual royal formalities. This moment of lightheartedness showed that even the royal family could have fun, and it was precisely these moments that made Charlotte a standout figure in the monarchy. Ultimately, Charlotte's humorous reaction not only brought the royal family closer, but also proved that the monarchy still knew how to laugh. However, what happened next might surprise you, because Charlotte was far from done making her mark on the royal stage. In one moment, Charlotte wasn't just a sweet little princess, she was making decisions, even if it was all in good fun. As the family prepared for new royal events, Charlotte's new role became a permanent fixture in the palace. But behind the laughter lay a deeper meaning. Charlotte was no longer just an observer in the royal family. She was taking control of her destiny in a way that was both amusing and powerful. Princess Charlotte's playful attitude and natural leadership continued to win over those around her. What started as a humorous doorway incident became a defining moment for the young princess, proving that she wasn't afraid to stand her ground even if it meant blocking someone at the door. Clearly, Princess Charlotte is destined for greatness, and her royal adventures are only just beginning. At the tender age of 7, Princess Charlotte had already perfected the art of royal poise, with her flawless curtsy, graceful wave, and composed smile reflecting her upbringing. However, on that unforgettable day at the Wellington Arch, something truly remarkable occurred. As millions of onlookers observed, the young princess's carefully maintained demeanor faltered, revealing an emotional moment that moved hearts across the globe. What could have caused her to shed tears? The answer lies in a secret gift, a hidden musical legacy, and a great-grandmother's final act of love that would forever change the monarchy. Few are aware that behind the grand doors of Buckingham Palace, in a room rarely seen by visitors, sat an antique Steinway piano, holding more secrets than the crown jewels. It was in this room that Queen Elizabeth Roman II spent countless evenings teaching young Charlotte the delicate art of piano playing, a tradition kept hidden from the public until that fateful day. The story began when Charlotte discovered a carefully wrapped package on her 7th birthday. Inside was a delicate music box crafted from burnished silver, adorned with tiny horseshoes symbolizing their shared love of horses. But this was no ordinary music box. When opened, it played a haunting melody composed by the Queen herself, a lullaby she had often played for Charlotte during their private lessons. On the day of the memorial service, Charlotte wore 2 precious gifts from her great-grandmother: the horseshoe brooch, which caught the attention of many, and beneath her collar, the silver music box, delicately suspended on a chain. What the cameras didn't capture, what no one could have anticipated, was how the grand organ at Wellington Arch began to play the first few notes of that very same lullaby, a final gift arranged by the Queen before her passing. As the notes filled the hall, something extraordinary occurred. Palace insiders later revealed that, as young Charlotte maintained her composure throughout numerous public appearances, she suddenly recognized the melody. Her hand instinctively reached for the music box beneath her collar. In that moment, the wall between public duty and private emotion began to crumble. The royal photographer who captured Charlotte's first year didn't know about the music box, the piano lessons, or the countless hours spent with her great-grandmother, learning not just music, but also lessons that would shape her future. All he knew was that he had witnessed something unprecedented, a moment of pure, unguarded emotion that would change the world's perception of the royal family. But here's where the story takes a surprising turn. As Charlotte's tears captured the attention of millions around the world, something remarkable happened in the orchestra pit. The musician entrusted with playing the Queen's lullaby later shared that his sheet music had mysteriously vanished just before the performance. Yet, the melody played on, note for note, as if guided by an invisible hand. The Queen's lady-in-waiting later revealed that the Queen had secretly recorded herself playing the lullaby, knowing it would be her final gift to Charlotte. She arranged for the recording to be played through the hall speaker system at precisely that moment, ensuring that even after her passing, she could offer one last moment of comfort to her beloved great-granddaughter. What began as a private display of emotion quickly sparked a chain reaction throughout the hall. As Charlotte's tears flowed freely, others found themselves moved not by the loss of a queen, but by the sight of a young girl mourning her great-grandmother. Even the usually stoic palace guards were seen discreetly wiping away their tears, though they would never admit it in their official reports. In the days that followed, the story of the mysterious melody spread. Music scholars tried to transcribe it, royal watchers searched for its meaning, and young royals across Europe found themselves relating to Charlotte in ways they never expected. However, the full truth about that day, the piano lessons, and the music box, remained known only to a select few until now. No one could have anticipated how that moment would ripple through centuries of royal protocol, challenging the very foundations of how young royals were expected to behave in public. As Charlotte's tears dried and the final notes of her great-grandmother's lullaby faded away, more questions arose. What other secrets lay hidden behind the young princess's composed exterior? And how did the musical connection between grandmother and great-granddaughter reveal itself in the final months they spent together at Kensington Palace? Within the palace walls, Charlotte navigated 2 distinct worlds. Behind the scenes, Princess Kate transformed a forgotten wing of the palace into a space called the Normality Nook, where tiaras met teddy bears and royal protocol bowed to childhood whimsy. Here, Charlotte kept her most treasured possessions, common toys gifted by the public during royal walkabouts. She particularly cherished a simple wooden dollhouse placed next to a priceless 18th-century miniature palace that had belonged to Queen Mary. This contrast spoke volumes about her unique childhood. Palace staff observed how Charlotte effortlessly switched between these 2 worlds. At state events, she demonstrated impeccable posture, perfected through hours of practice, yet moments after the cameras turned away, she would often be found twirling. Perhaps most intriguing was her secret ritual. Before every public appearance, she would spend exactly 7 minutes in the Normality Nook playing with her toys, a tradition that helped her remember she could be both a princess and a child. As the memorial service reached its most solemn moment, an extraordinary sequence of events unfolded beneath the Wellington Arch. The first sign of something unprecedented came from Charlotte's personal protection officer, who noticed her fingers tracing something beneath her collar. Tom Parker, the royal photographer, recalled how time seemed to slow down. Through his lens, he saw subtle changes in Charlotte's demeanor, a tremor in her hands and a softening around her eyes that no royal training could conceal. But what truly broke protocol came next. As Charlotte's composure wavered, Guard James Mitchell made a decision that would later spark debate in the highest circles of palace authority. He reached into his uniform pocket and quietly offered Charlotte his handkerchief, first time in centuries that a guard had interacted directly with a royal during a ceremonial duty. This simple act of humanity sparked quiet support throughout the crowd. As Charlotte's tears flowed, the atmosphere of the ceremony shifted. Foreign dignitaries, trained in centuries of protocol, found themselves caught between tradition and compassion. The Japanese ambassador's wife later described how she instinctively stepped forward to comfort Charlotte, only to be surprised when no one stopped her, a subtle shift in the invisible barriers that typically surrounded young royals. In those 3 minutes, the usual whispers about royal protocol gave way to murmurs of empathy. Young royals from other nations, standing rigid in their formal attire, visibly relaxed their postures in solidarity. What happened beneath the Wellington Arch that day did more than challenge tradition, it rewrote it. In the months that followed, a subtle but significant shift occurred in how young royals were permitted to express themselves during formal occasions. As these changes took root within the palace, attention turned to Prince George, who had watched his sister's vulnerability with an intensity that puzzled many observers. His reaction, and the profound impact it would have on their relationship, soon became apparent. The change began with a leather-bound journal discovered by palace housekeeping, filled with sketches that documented George's own struggles with royal expectations. One drawing depicted Charlotte at the memorial service, with a mirror image of himself beside her, both with tears. Palace sources revealed that George had secretly collected newspaper clippings about his sister's emotional display, not out of rivalry, but with deep admiration. His private tutor noticed a shift in his demeanor during lessons on royal history. Instead of focusing solely on protocol, George began asking about the human side of these stories. The siblings' bond grew stronger through their shared routines. The royal children's breakfast room, once a place of formality, became a sanctuary where George and Charlotte developed their own secret language of support. George would position himself between his sister and visiting dignitaries, creating space for her to step out of the spotlight if needed. Perhaps the most telling change came during their joint appearances at royal functions. Gone were the subtle competitions. Instead, observers noted how George developed a system of hand signals with Charlotte. A gentle tap on the wrist meant "I see you struggling," while a soft brush of the elbow signaled "it's okay to feel." Their private art teacher shared a moving story of a joint painting session, where George requested they work on a single canvas together. The result was an artwork showing two young figures standing strong together, their crowns tilted and hands clasped in unity. This transformation extended beyond the palace walls. At a garden party at Windsor Castle, George broke tradition by requesting that young guests sit with their siblings, not by rank. This small but significant change reflected his growing understanding that strength could be found in family bonds. George also began keeping a small collection of items in his coat pocket during public events: a spare handkerchief, a photograph of their private moments, and a courage stone, a smooth pebble from the beach where he and Charlotte had spent a rare, carefree afternoon. These items served as tangible reminders of their shared humanity beyond their royal titles. The evolving relationship between the siblings caught the attention of child development experts, who noted how their public dynamic was reshaping expectations for young royals. Their former nanny revealed how George had even changed his bedtime routine. Instead of practicing his royal wave, as tradition dictated, he would spend quiet moments reflecting on his connection with his sister. I am now 75, and from all the past, one name resurfaces in my memory: the Queen. But times change, and now that King Charles is on the throne, the monarchy is also undergoing transformations. He combines traditions with a modern outlook, which sometimes leads to unexpected actions. Charles's recent move surprised many, especially Camilla. What exactly did he do, and how will it affect the future of the royal family? Let's find out. Before becoming king, Charles was searching for love. His personal life was filled with high-profile romances, but he was always constrained by the expectations of the royal court. One of the most influential figures in his life was Lord Mountbatten, his great-uncle and mentor. It was he who guided Charles, including in matters of relationships. In his youth, the prince dated women from well-known families, among them Georgina Russell, the daughter of the British ambassador to Spain, and Jane Wellesley, the daughter of Lord Wellington. He was also romantically involved with Davina Sheffield and Sarah Spencer, the sister of Princess Diana. But the name that truly left a mark on his life was Camilla. Mountbatten believed that Charles needed a pleasant and charming wife. In the year 1974, he suggested his granddaughter Amanda. Charles showed interest, but her mother decided that the young woman was too young for marriage. A few years later, Mountbatten arranged a trip to India, hoping to strengthen their bond, but fate had other plans. In the year 1979, Mountbatten was killed in a terrorist attack, which was a great shock for Charles. Soon after, he proposed to Amanda, but she declined. After this, Charles turned his attention to Diana. In the early months of the year 1980, they grew closer, and soon the public began talking about a possible wedding. Under pressure from the royal family, he proposed to her, and in the year 1981, a lavish wedding took place, watched by millions of people. In their marriage, they had 2 sons, William and Harry. However, differences in age and outlook on life soon led to discord. After only 5 years, the relationship began to fall apart. In the year 1986, Charles rekindled his romance with Camilla, while Diana, in turn, also had affairs. In the year 1992, a scandalous book revealing secrets of their marriage was published, followed by divorce. After Diana's death, Charles gradually changed the image of the monarchy, making it more relevant to modern times. In the year 2005, he announced his engagement to Camilla, which was a significant event. Their marriage was not a church wedding. Instead, a civil ceremony took place, the first in the history of the British monarchy. Upon becoming king, Charles continued his reforms. One of his key decisions was the redistribution of responsibilities within the family. Prince William and Kate Middleton took on more duties, which many saw as an attempt to modernize the monarchy. However, this move sparked debate, especially concerning Camilla. Her influence became limited, and her role as queen consort was questioned, as attention shifted to the new generation. What does the future hold for the British monarchy? Time will tell, but one thing is clear: with Charles on the throne, change is inevitable. Camilla found herself in a difficult position, trying to define her role in a large and ever-evolving royal family. Her journey from a woman in the shadows to queen consort was long and complicated, filled with public scrutiny, doubts, and efforts to prove her worth. Initially, Camilla was perceived solely as the woman who interfered in the lives of Prince Charles and Princess Diana. Her name provoked a negative reaction from the public, which adored Diana and saw her as the only suitable partner for the heir to the throne. Camilla had to endure a wave of condemnation, criticism, and distrust, but after marrying Charles, she set a goal to change her image. She actively took on royal duties, supported her husband in all his initiatives, engaged in charity work, and sought recognition from both the royal family and the British public. Gradually, she managed to soften the negative perception of herself. However, her position within the family remained challenging. Even after Charles ascended the throne, Camilla had to fight for her place as the king focused on Prince William and his wife Kate. Although she officially became queen consort, her role remained largely limited. Camilla understood that her main task was to support Charles and fulfill ceremonial duties, but despite this, she still felt that her contributions were underappreciated. After all the efforts she made to gain recognition, she found herself still in the background. Traditionally, a queen consort does not hold real power, and her influence is limited by public opinion and the king's decisions. Camilla undoubtedly understood this, but it was difficult for her to accept that King Charles was prioritizing the new generation of the monarchy, placing his hopes on William and Kate. For Charles, this was a strategically sound decision. The prince and his wife are young, popular, and symbolize the future of the monarchy, which is crucial in a modern world where traditions are constantly questioned. Camilla had to readjust once again to the changing dynamics of the royal family. Despite her official title, in reality she did not have the significance she might have expected. She was seen as a support for the king but not as an independent figure, which caused her internal struggles. Even after Camilla was officially recognized as queen consort, public opinion remained divided. The memory of Princess Diana was still alive, and many found it difficult to accept Camilla in this role. Although over the years her image had softened, she still faced skepticism and doubt. Instead of resisting this, Camilla focused on charity work and responsibilities that kept her out of the spotlight. She gradually strengthened her position, but she still understood that she would never be as beloved as Diana. For her, the recognition of the royal family and King Charles meant far more than public approval, yet she could not completely ignore society's perception of her. Camilla's challenges did not stop at her struggle for recognition. Other concerns weighed on her as well, one of the most significant being the health of the king. If Charles were to fall seriously ill or pass away earlier than expected, Camilla's position would drastically change. When William becomes king, Camilla's future in the monarchy will be uncertain. Will she remain an important figure, or will she be pushed to the sidelines? These thoughts undoubtedly trouble her, especially after the long journey she took to gain acceptance. Despite reaching high status, she remains dependent on the decisions of others. The royal family is adapting to new challenges of modernity, and Charles is working to prepare the monarchy for the future. He is doing everything possible to ensure a smooth transition of power while preserving traditions. Camilla, however, has to come to terms with the fact that the leading role in this process is not hers, but William's and Kate's. Camilla's story is that of a woman who found herself in a difficult situation and tried to find her place in a system built on traditions and strict rules. Her journey was filled with obstacles, but she managed to prove her dedication to the royal family. However, even after so many years, her position remains ambiguous. Although she became queen consort, her influence is limited, and her future remains uncertain. She is forced to balance between tradition and the realities of the modern monarchy, accepting the circumstances that are beyond her control. Whether she will remain a significant figure in British history or be relegated to the background, only time will tell.